program is. All right, you know what? So I've talked to you guys for a while.
Right.
I'm gonna step out of the way and let the real professionals step in. So we're gonna have we're gonna start with the biggest one. And so we got a man Jelly Welly. That is come around. I'm gonna get out of the way. You got the questions. She's the son of my friend Joe Chicklewicz. She runs the hottest nonprofit in town. And so there you go, Batman. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready, I think.
I'm sure you're ready.
I'm always ready.
Don't be nervous. Take your
Or just step over. You got to get in the camera shot.
Yeah, there he is. He's
Okay,
in
there
now.
you are. And we got my man Joey.
You got to get the Roo in.
Is there with you?
There he is.
Okay, so my first question is,
boy.
why did you choose a superhero like Batman? Because he's kind of dark and broody. Why didn't you have other options like Superman, who kind of like shines hope and doesn't kind of fight in the darkness?
Well, yes, Batman in the story, dark and broody. I get it. However, it's a boy who grew up experiencing the most tragic thing that can happen to a kid right in front of him. He had anger issues. He had sadness and depression issues. But what he did was he learned to take those situations and those feelings and turn them into something to change the world with. So that's someone that all of us can relate to. Superman, great character, but unattainable. Kids can't relate to that because they're not from that planet. They don't have those powers. So with Batman, the reason God gave me Batman as a character is because that is a character that all of us can relate to. Everywhere there are kids who are being orphaned. Everywhere there are kids who are hurting. Everywhere there are kids who witness horrible things every day, either at school or at home, such as I did, okay? However, we can take the painful things in our lives, use them as a fuel to do great things. That's the most important thing about the character of Batman. What is his superpower? His superpower is taking his pain and turning it into power, even though he had the anger issues. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it's realistic. He's more realistic of a character.
And my other question is, what's the farthest you've traveled to in like your advocacy journey?
Poland. Poland for 2 weeks in March.
Polish.
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you something. And I gotta plug this because I gotta say this because we're so busy talking about Ukraine and the war that everybody's missing what really happened over there. I'm going to give you a little bit of 30-second history.
There you go. It's yours.
You ready? I'm going to teach you something. Back in World War II, Poland went through horrible stuff. When the Nazis rose up, they went up against Poland. It was a bad day. However, there were pieces of Ukraine and factions of Ukraine that were also pro-Nazi, and they were horrible to the Polish people back then. So there was a lot of atrocities that were committed at the hands of Ukrainian people toward the Polish. There were beheadings, there were church burnings, there were killing in the squares, horrible situations. They were an extension of Hitler's arm. However, watch what's happening right now. When Russia invaded Ukraine, the first country and the country that has taken in more refugees, when I was there, I could not find one single Polish family that had not taken in Ukrainian refugees into their home personally. And the country really wasn't paying them much to do that, if anything at all. Some of them haven't even gotten their money yet to reimburse them, but they have these people living with them, okay? What's that teach us? What it teaches us is if anybody had a reason and a right to look at Ukraine and say, you are not coming here, it would have been Poland, but they didn't do it. What they taught us was grace. What they taught us was forgiveness. And if all of us would have just shut up for a little bit and listened to the lesson that God's trying to teach us through the situation of how Poland has opened their heart and allowed all these refugees in, despite how they were treated by the very people that they're helping. Hello? Let's have that nice, uncomfortable silence for a second. Everybody wants to remember what somebody did to them. But nobody wants to stop and ask ourselves, am I man enough or woman enough to forgive them and actually do as the Bible teaches me to do?
There you go, Batman dropping nuggets.
And so that's what's happening in Poland, is an act of grace and forgiveness. To the answer to your question, Poland is the perfect example for the entire world that if you want to do things right, you're going to have to do it the way that Poland's trying to teach us. Because holding grudges and hating ain't going to get it.
There you go. What's your website? Yeah, your
YouTube.
whatever you got.
I love it.
YouTube, Jelly Welly.
Jelly Welly.
Yeah.
Jellie, no space, capital W-E-L-L-I.
You know you popping now, right? You
That's
do
it,
know.
man.
Check
it out.
All right, come on, get up, wait, man. Can I get back in on the mic?
Oh, I tell you what, man.
On the mic,
Seriously.
we're rolling along. All right, so we got Next up, we got Cam. Cam, you ready?
I love that name,
Cam,
Cam.
you got
Cam, you got the one with the cool hat, man.
Yeah.
Cool hat on.
You got the cool
Come on
hat.
over here.
See, I gotta break my hat too, Cam. I can't wear them like that. I gotta break my hat.
Oh yeah, see, he got the flat brim.
He does.
Yeah.
Here, come
I know,
here for
I
a second.
can't
Come
roll
here,
it.
Cam.
All right, Cam, you gotta
Tell you what,
Yo,
we're
hold
gonna
on
do
a second.
something right now. Look at there.
hold on. Cam
All
is
right,
not.
Cam.
We gotta get Cam into
We gotta
the.
get Cam. Cam, come
Yeah,
here for a
can
second.
Cam sit on the chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, we can
All
see
right.
Cam now.
All right, so Cam,
Hold on, man. Let me get my fly hat on.
Cam, you were on the baseball team, weren't you?
Here we go.
Did you guys win the championship?
We were second.
All right, that's
Oh.
good.
Hey.
That's good.
You know why you were second, right? Because they didn't let you play enough.
Well, wait a minute. Ain't Dad the manager? He played.
Did you know? Oh, see that? Now you know. Now you know.
Oh,
All right, Cam, you got a question for Batman? Okay, here you go.
do you have a pet bat?
A pet bat? No, I do not.
Not yet.
However, I will say this. I will say this. True as they get.
Uh-huh.
We do have 2 bat houses
Yeah.
built on the side of our house that bats can come to and actually home in and out of. But I do have a panther chameleon and a bearded dragon that I love because I love reptiles. You know how that is. But yeah, we do have bat houses on the side of our house for bats to find refuge. So yes and no. I don't have one personally.
But do you want to know what happened maybe a few years
Oh
ago?
boy, here it goes.
We had a bat to come into the house.
We did through the
Yeah.
chimney. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So they know it's the bat cave.
They know, that's right. They tried to get into the Batcave.
Yeah.
They knew what time it
And I
was.
know what time it is. All righty. So, Kim, we got another question?
My dad asked how fast the Batmobile
See,
goes.
that's what I wanted to know.
What's that?
Dude, how fast does a Batmobile go?
Speed limit.
Okay.
Speed limit.
That would come from
Let me
Batman.
tell you, you know,
Yeah, he's chasing crime.
yeah, but, you know, it's a speed limit because I have to set the example too. Now, I'll tell you what, one time I had to get on it because I've got my Batmobile's making this crazy little noise right now. So I'm in the midst of trying to figure out what that noise is.
Maybe
So
the Joker
in
did.
order to get it to make that noise, I had to speed up and accelerate. So I'm on this open road doing this for a period of time. Long storms, you know, I'm going accelerating, letting off. It's trying to figure out what in the world is making this noise. And I'm on this highway in Kentucky, right? And there's hardly nobody on this highway, I would think, but me, right? And maybe the UFOs that are about to abduct me. But I'm sitting there and I get this crazy text message comes through my phone. I got Bluetooth in my Batmobile. So the text message reads across. Somebody texts me and says, Batman, we're trying to catch you. Slow down. Okay, so they were mad at me because I was speeding up and slowing down. They couldn't catch me. But long story short, speed limit because I don't want to. Number one, that car is fully street legal. I do amazing things with that car. And it's important that when I have that car out, that I am living the example that I teach.
All right, on the mic, Mike. How can people find Batman once again?
www.h4h, the number 4. If you go to h4h.us with the number 4, h4h.us will take you to my digital business card. And at that digital business card, you'll be able to have access to my Facebook and everything else related to me. So
All righty. On the mic, Mike King. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. We are here to, so it is the Tri-City Chili Peppers. They are what brought Batman to us and Wonder Woman. We appreciate them for that. They're doing some really great things down in Colonial Heights. Make sure you go check them out. We're going to have Colin talk in a minute. We'd like to thank my man, Chris Mayfield, Perfusion Consulting, my partner. He's a sponsor. I always say, change the world ain't cheap, easy, or free. And my man got me hooked up. So, all right, next up, we got my girl, Ryan. She is one of the twins, and she's a TV star and a radio star. She has a program with me, and the name of the program is? Do we remember? Come on over. No, we don't. All right, so Ryan, are we going with the whole thing, or you just riot today? You just riot. Yes. But she just riot. Okay.
Abbreviated.
All righty. Yes. Okay. So do we see you? Oh, there you are. And so we've been rocking for a long time. I was with them when they did the Richmond Children's Business Fair years ago. I don't know when you say years, about 6 years ago. So they are entrepreneurs. They got some really great things going on. All righty, Ryan, the floor is yours. Wait a second. Do you miss Mackenzie? All right.
A little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, we're sorry. Okay, Mariah, there you go. The floor is yours.
What made you like start doing what you're doing now?
True to spec. September 4th of 2012, I'd come home from Iraq. I was home for a year. It's kind of just trying to figure out what my next important thing to do was going to be. and was kind of struggling for that year too. And then God woke me up in the middle of the night with 2 words: be Batman. True story. I was repeated over and over, and I woke up. Took me about 15 minutes to get the nerve to wake her up. So I woke her up. I said, I think God's telling me to be Batman.
And what did you say when the man said,
Here it goes. You ready?
You do what God tells you to do. I'm going back to bed.
She went back. She
Yep.
did. So long story short, God woke me up with the idea to be Batman. A little lesson for us. You always know when God is leading you to do something. It could be at school or wherever it is. You know he's leading you to do something when it's something that you would have never thought of yourself. Sometimes it could be that boy sitting in the lunchroom. You're looking at a boy in a lunchroom. He looks sad. He looks hungry. And you might get this crazy idea that says, go give him your chips out of your lunchbox. And he's the boy that nobody wants anything to do with. And you look at it and you say, man, that's crazy. But that's the thing to do. Because God will always inspire you to do the things that nobody else is doing. Does that make sense? There you go. Got another one?
Yeah.
I knew she did.
Where are all the places you have like been?
All over the U.S. The furthest I've been is Poland. In October, I'm going to Mexico, to Tijuana, down by the border. I've been to California when the San Bernardino shooting happened. We went out there for an entire week.
Indiana,
Indiana, I've
South
been
Carolina.
Pennsylvania, South Carolina. South Carolina was for a few of the funerals that we've done for kids who've passed away tragically. One of which was a really bad school shooting that happened to a little boy. So pretty much all over the country. Oklahoma for the Big 12 Women's Basketball Championship.
That was a good one.
All over. But we're not doing enough in Virginia. So I want to do more in Virginia. I want more of a footprint here as far as the schools are concerned. Yeah. Got another one? Come on, give me one more. Got one for Wonder Woman?
Oh,
She's going to give her one for Wonder Woman.
Do you have a pet?
do I have a
yeah.
pet? Yeah. We got 2 dogs,
Yep.
a cat, a bearded dragon,
Yep.
a chameleon.
Yep.
That's it so far.
So who's your mascot, Ryan? For your business? You didn't tell them.
Oh, it's my dog.
And he
What kind of dog you got?
Sell products.
What kind of dog is it?
It's a multi-poo.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Aw.
okay.
It's
Awesome.
Zoe. Zoe's our mascot.
That's
And
awesome.
Zoe helps him sell stuff at fairs.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
Skylar helps out. She's just starting to get into kind of helping us out from time to time too.
Yes.
So
She's a
Welcome,
good
Skylar.
help.
That's what we
Wanna
gotta
come
do.
with people see? Look
Yeah,
at that. See,
say
that's
hi.
a
there she is.
Love it.
there you go.
AKA Batgirl. You better look out
Yep.
for her because we're
There you
going to
go.
be
We're
seeing
good.
her up for
Thank
long.
you.
Get her a suit.
Alrighty, really quickly.